Laurie Watson, our sex therapist here. You like Brad Paisley?
Hey, I do. And Patty Loveless.
Oh, yeah.
I love her.
Okay, well, I saw, you heard the story,
I heard
right?
that, yeah.
So,
You look so beautiful today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, do you dress up sexy for your clients?
No.
Because if you're talking about, you see what I'm saying, is if you're talking to a couple.
Right. No, you don't want to do that. Not
Why?
as a sex therapist.
Really?
Right. No, because I'm not the object. It's talking to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have a natural sexiness about you, though, doesn't she? Like, it's like this natural, it just kind of...
Well, you are sweet. Thank you.
No, but you do. I'm not trying
That
to
and the
hit.
fact that you're showing your boobs like crazy
Just
today.
for the record, I'm wearing a sweater when I go to work.
Yeah, right.
You have a very calm, soothing voice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. All right, so back to sex. So
Yeah, enough about me.
if you want to get in touch with Laurie, a good, easy way to do it is go to Laurie, 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 Watson.sextherapy on Facebook. And you'll find her, and you can get in touch with her and get everything taken care of, if you know what I'm saying.
And if you Google her, Laurie Watson, then
Right.
she'll show up right there. It's
Right.
got like a flag in the background on her picture.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So you were coming up to talk about the stuff that you find from psychiatry. It was Psychiatry Today.
Psychology Today.
Oh, Psychology.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
remember. All right, so there you go. So you found this, and you,
Actually, I wrote this.
And-
This is a blog.
Did
I
you
wrote.
really?
Yeah.
for
Yes,
that. Oh
yeah.
God, you are
Yeah.
a real sex therapist.
Yeah.
All right.
She's a real deal.
Yeah, I'm on Psychology Today.
And
Yeah.
this was the most viewed thing
Right.
in question. So
It
what was it? What was it
well,
about?
basically, it's why do people suddenly not be attracted to their partner or their spouse? So the title of the article was Why I'm Not Into You. What happens? Why when we marry somebody or we get together with them, we think they're so hot and so sexy, and then suddenly we don't?
Why is that?
Well, I think there's a lot of reasons, and I think it's important to figure it out. One reason, there is something when people maybe let themselves go. You know, that we should at least have some respect, decent hygiene, dental,
Yeah.
and maybe dress it up every once in a while for your partner. I think sometimes too people marry for practical reasons. They decide, I like you for, we have things in common. I want to raise children with you, but they really don't have chemistry. And so they need to learn how to have chemistry. And this is how you get there. You basically have to learn how to have hot sex, and that bonds you chemically. There's something that's released, oxytocin, seriously, that is like a chemical that is released when we have orgasm, and that bonds us to the person we're making
Oprah,
love
please.
with.
Oprah.
Yeah. Oops.
When we have Oprah.
When we have Oprah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So here's me and my wife, 20 years.
Okay.
Right? Married. So, yeah, you're right. At the very beginning, it was crazy pudding, right?
Yeah.
We just get married. It's crazy. And like several times a day. I know I'm
Yay.
probably sharing too much.
Yay.
But
Your poor
then
wife.
but then a lot of things get in the way.
Right.
You got work, her work, my work, and then you got, you're exhausted because then after you work, you got to do stuff around the house. And then after that, you have kids, and then the kids get in there. And I know you're just supposed to, make time for you, even if you have the kids. But by the time everything has been going that way,
Right.
and it's that kind of day or that kind of week or that kind of month, then it's just sex becomes less important because you have to put the kids first or you first or whatever the case is, or she first or me
Sure.
first, whatever.
Sure.
So is that kind of the same thing? A lot of people afterwards, you end up just like it kind of fades away. But for us, it came back.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
No, I think that's another reason is that people stop being attracted to their partner is they don't really make sex sexy anymore.
But
They
how
let
do you
all
make
these
it
other
sexy?
things get in the way rather than putting creativity into it. I think it isn't sexy to, go to bed, pull down the sheets, get ready,
Yeah.
do it.
And you can barely do that because you're so damn tired.
But I think that if we think that, we're going to be able to sustain a relationship that long without that kind of connection, without that excitement, that is the excitement in marriage. Sex is the adventure.
And the next thing here that I'm looking at is is it a woman hides how erotic she really is, or does a guy doesn't tell the woman?
Absolutely. I have so many women who come in and say, I'm just not attracted to my partner. I just don't want sex anymore. And the reality is she is way more erotic than he is But for some reason or another, she hasn't had the courage yet to share it. I mean, I think that, it's every man's fantasy that his wife is really an info. Right?
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
especially
think
when
I
they're
don't
pregnant.
think
That was my favorite.
But I don't think it should be his burden to figure that out. I think it's hers to reveal herself, to say this is what I really like.
Yeah.
I think it's hers.
Wouldn't you say that
And that makes it exciting again.
yeah, but guys are more open about their sex or lack of or more of, whereas women are becoming more open
Right.
about it, but
Right.
still not 100% there yet.
I
right?
agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean,
why
I think,
is that?
I think we're socialized to be closed about sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I still think, to be an open person about sex, makes you a bad girl.
So doing something, another list here is they're thinking about somebody else. What is that about? Because
Yeah,
usually I hear from the women that, especially my wife, that, when I'm not there, if that personal time happens, that there's a faceless guy. If they're not thinking about your
Sure,
husband or your guy,
sure.
you're thinking about a faceless guy, which is the opposite of what guys think.
Uh-huh. And I think it's a fantasy is the way a woman turns herself on, right? And she turns
I don't know.
herself
You
on
tell
by,
me.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. That's
like
what I'm
50
telling
Shades
you.
of Grey.
But there's a difference between a fantasy and an intent.
Right.
If I'm intending to be with somebody else, then that occupies me, and oftentimes, then your partner is not exciting. And men, I think sometimes too, dilute their sexual desire with porn.
Yeah.
Now, how
Word.
being in a relationship now, and I live with Boston, and I'm exhausted. I mean, I used to really love to be sexually active, but it's kind of lacked off a little bit. So, what is the normal about how often you should have sex each week in order to make it normal?
Okay, I think women need to
love
have.
some sex.
What?
Thank you, peanut butter. I mean, yes, I love some sex. That was me last time.
I love some sex.
I do, but I mean, like some days it's like literally almost unable to make it to the bed.
Yeah.
You're so tired. So, what's the normal
I
amount?
think women need about 1 or 2 orgasms a week to have
Oprah's-
sexual desire. Ooh,
or she can say that if it's a.
I understand. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
For the
2
kids.
Oprahs a week. And I think that at least just to have desire, because a woman gets more desire the more she has sex. And I think men sort of are relieved the more they have sex. So it's this perfect blend.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
at
think there's
least
an
twice?
average. But once or twice is probably what I hear in terms of, what makes it tolerable on both sides.
I think I've already said, and this is from the guy's side, I think 2 by 2. That's twice during the week and twice on the weekends.
Yeah,
That
no.
sounds
Good luck
good.
with that. Yeah, I don't know.
2 by
I
2.
just- I just don't
if you
think-
strive for 2 by 2, sometimes you'll get 3 by 3, and sometimes you'll get 1 by 1, and sometimes you'll get 0 by 0, and
I've tried to
I mean,
agree
that
to
would be
every day,
lovely, but I think that I doubt that people with small children and married couples actually have that kind of time.
But
Right.
what I'm saying is, shouldn't you should strive
Well, Bob's going
Or
for
some-
4 by 1, 4 times
Yeah.
a year.
4 by 12.
Oh, sorry.
this is really his fantasy.
Yeah, it's like a skinny piece of wood.
Can we do it 4 times a week, honey?
In my mind, I'm getting it twice a week during the week and twice on the weekends.